Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Saibal, you're audible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome you all. This is a new thing we will be exploring today. We're very happy to do this one. One of the things I think that's also a compliance related thing that you have to keep your software intact. But in many cases, what we have seen that software been corrupted and they couldn't show the software during their compliance and other things. This is an area where there's little bit of haziness is there, and we wanted to understand this one. That what is compliance? How can we keep those softwares up? Because now, I mean, gradually most of the things are getting operated through your most of the things are getting operated through your uh, technology. So our software is extremely important in this case. So uh, when we were exploring, we got through the representative of Castler. They were discussing about they are specialized in the source code escrow for the software protection. That's a very interesting thing. When we started discussing about it, it was very interesting. Then we thought that we should be sharing this knowledge with our members as we do regularly through different things, different webinar to your physical meetings, everything. So this webinar we wanted to organize with them, like getting them as a knowledge partner and understand what exactly is that one. What are the things we should be doing? What are the how can we keep it protected? And I should not take more time because they are the specialists in it, and I would also like to learn where are we standing. So over to you, representative of ESCO.
Sure. Thanks, Saibal. This is Varun here. I'll be leading this forum from Castler's side. I'm joined by my colleagues Ritesh and Vikas also.
Welcome.
Varun?
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, just allow me a second. I'll just display my screen also.
Yeah.
You can allow me to share the screen, please.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have the rights. Yeah.
Yeah, done.
Sure, I've got the rights. Please let me know once the screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, great. So thanks for giving us this platform. Before setting on the agenda, I just wanted to maybe take 2 minutes and let you know who we are and what are the services that we are offering. As you've already briefed, this is a regulatory product. All the regulators, including RBI, SEBI, and IRDA, they are very much interested and they have mandated it as part of their regulations. So, but before getting into that, a little background about Castler, who we are, what are the products we offer. So we are around 4 years old company. In fact, more than 4 years old now. We're in this in the existence. We initially started off with offering money escrow services. I believe all of you are aware about escrows and the applications in the lending space. So we cater to a lot of lenders, including the bank lenders and NBFC lenders, and help them in their disbursements, collections, co-lending activities through our money escrow stack. So we started in the year 2021. Back then, we had around 12 bank partners, five SEBI-approved trusteeship companies, with help of whom we started offering this solution in the market. We have built a platform which automates a lot of money-related transactions for the user. So we are a middleware. We sit between the user and the bank. We have partnered with the banks, and then we automate the transactions for the users. So this is how we work. So this part of the business picked up very well for us. Very leading investors, as you can see on the screen, like IFL Ventures, InfoEdge, which is the holding company of Naukri.com, Zerodha, Flipkart. There are some of the lead investors who invested in our business. 2023 end is when we started deliberating on launching other verticals on the escrow, not limit ourselves to the money part of it. So software escrow was one such product on our mind. Coincidentally, IRDA and IRBI also came up with the master direction during the same year itself, mandating all their regulated entities, like you can see on your screen. For RBI, the initial regulation was for all the banks, NBFCs, CICs, and AIFs, where it was categorically said that if these institutions are using any third party application which are critical to run the businesses, then to ensure the continuity of the business and to prevent these regulated entities from software vendor defaults, the regulated entities have to ensure that they take the custody of any third party application uh, source code with an escrow agent. What it means is that they will have to pursue their vendors and ensure that the vendors hand over the source code of the application to an escrow agent, so that tomorrow, if at all this vendor defuncts, stops supporting the application, or files for bankruptcy, or gets merged or acquired with another entity, or for any reason becomes incapacitated to service the existing application, in those scenarios, these banks, NBFCs, who are the beneficiaries of the applications or the users of the application, can reach out to the escrow agent, ask them to release the codes to them so that they can appoint a new software vendor who can then continue servicing the application. This is to ensure the continuity of the business of critical applications for banks and NBFCs. So this is the gist of the regulation. As you can see, then RBI passed on this regulation after the initial success. They rolled it out for non-bank payment service operators also. Similarly, SEBI also came up with the similar master direction. So now the entire BFSI sector gets covered under this regime, right? So when we did our research, we also found some global case studies, actual case studies, which happened due to non-existence of source code escrows in place. So like you see, Kmart Australia is a retail chain. They faced operational disruptions because their software vendor, defunct. Similarly, TSB banks failed a downtime during the migration activity because their software vendor defunct. Similarly, another entity w- went through the similar situation due to a failure in their ERP module. So these are some critical applications which require continuous support, and that's what we feel that the regulators have drawn parallel from, and they have passed on the regulations for India clients also, India regulated entities also. So you see some of the benefits that it offers is that you see, if in the absence of source code escrow, you can have business continuity risk. There are a lot of compliance and regulated challenges. You face challenges in terms of control over your vendors, and then there are security and data privacy risks. So we are trying to counter all of these through our offerings that we have today, right? So in Castler is India's first cloud native software escrow platform. Before I dive further into this, maybe I'll take a step back and tell you what are the services and how we have evolved on the software escrow front. So I was explaining that in 2023, when we were planning to launch our software escrow business, these regulations were passed. So we reached out to our existing bank NBFC partners and understood whether they would need such a product. So they were interested because it's a regulatory requirement. So what we immediately did was we launched a physical storage product. So today we have two businesses, one on the software escrow front. One is a physical storage product where we have created security vaults across our offices in Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore. We sign a tripartite agreement between the application vendor, the entities who are using the application, and ourselves acting as the escrow agent. Once the agreement is signed, vendor deposits the source codes to us. Now, in a physical storage, they deposit it in a media device. And in a cloud storage, what we have done is we have collaborated with AWS and GCP. We have created virtual vaults, which is accessible through a web application. Right? So these are the two offerings that we have. Now, if you see on your screen, our role as an escrow agent ensure that we facilitate the escrow agreements for the parties. It is a tripartite agreement where detailed terms and conditions are captured as to who is the owner of the application, who is the beneficiary or the user of the application, under what circumstances the codes will be released to which all parties, what will be the process followed to upload or deposit the codes with the escrow agent, what are the roles and responsibilities and liabilities of each of the parties. So these are captured in the escrow agreement. We have in-house dedicated legal team to support the transacting parties in terms of drafting, vetting, and negotiating on the terms. Once the codes are given to us in our custody, we don't limit or restrict our services to just deposition of the code. We also have in-house verification team. So what we do is that we do the verification of the substance or the assets given to us for their accuracy, integrity, completeness, right? And then only we store it. I'll walk you through what all verification services we provide in detail later during the presentation. Uh, this I have already explained. Like we have two storages, one on cloud and physical. Irrespective of the mode, you get a centralized dashboard where you can track all your escrows across your different vendors, or a vendor can track it for their different users. A single dashboard which will give you a clear picture on how many physical escrows are there, assets are stored at which all location. Similarly, on cloud, how many escrows are there and which cloud storage is being utilized, what is the current status, everything will be visible to you. These are some of the product features that we have. Since the regulation says that the recent codes should be there, the latest copy of the code should be in the custody of the escrow agent. So our product ensures that we automatically pull the recent versions of the codes from vendors end. Similarly, data encryption is there, multi-factor authentication, which is RBI's requirement in terms of 2FA. We do that. Role-based accesses are given. So these are some of the features that we offer to you, which we will discuss during our subsequent discussions. This I have already shown you. These are some of the investors and these are some of the users who are already using it. As you see, most of the public sector banks, big private banks, big NBFC companies, they're already the users. We have mentioned some of them, not all the users, but we have more than 100 clients who are using our products on the software escrow today. These are the three different product offerings within the software escrow. One is source code escrow, where we only secure or take the custody of the source code of the application. Then there is a software escrow. In this, we secure the custody of the source code plus supporting documents like architecture diagrams, manual, testing reports, process documents, everything around the source code is taken in our custody, be it in physical form or on cloud. Then there is a SaaS escrow, which is applicable for SaaS application providers. What we can enable them with is we can give them a single storage instance and tag all their beneficiaries as or all their users as potential beneficiaries to the application. So SaaS provider, let's say, is working with 100 banks. They need not upload 100 copies of the codes on our platform, one belonging to each client. What they can do is they can upload a single copy of the codes on our platform, and by default, we will tag all the 100 banks as the user or the beneficiary of that particular application. Tomorrow, if this SaaS vendor defuncts, we will ensure that all these 100 banks receive one copy each for ensuring continuity of their business and compliance to the guidelines. Right. So this is about the storage. Then there are verification services also. What we do in the verification services, we have bifurcated it into two different verification modules. We call it level one verification and level two verification. These are optional and on need basis, clients can avail the services. What we do in level one verification is we do the inspection of the folder structure that has been uploaded as part of the media device. So tomorrow it should not be an empty device or should not be a device having movie in it. So what we do is we create a detailed report where we tell the content of the device, which includes the name of the file, type, size, encryption status, everything in detail. Then there is a level two verification where by default level one is covered. But apart from that, we also do the code build verification. So we do the compilation of the codes, create a build out of it. The build report and the build itself is provided to the beneficiary so that they can run it on their environment just to ensure this is the same application which is intended to be escrowed. So this is another verification service that we offer. Right. So some of the benefits of the cloud escrow, we support multi-cloud environment. Today we have collaboration with the AWS and GCP. How it works is that we provide the users with a dashboard. A vendor logs into the dashboard, and then they get an option to upload the code on the cloud either manually or through an SFTP based mechanism or by directly integrating into their GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket. The moment codes are uploaded on our cloud, we do the encryption of the codes on the other side, which is the beneficiary or the regulated entity. They see the encrypted version of the code uh, along with the audit trails. The encrypted version will also tell you which version is this and who uploaded these codes. So all these details are visible to you. If at all there are any updates in the codes, the updated codes will be deposited and you will have an audit trail where you can see that the uploaded codes have been deposited on the platform itself. So the entire control is there from the platform. If you are opting for a physical storage, that also will be visible to you on cloud on the platform. You deposit in person in either of our offices across Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore. We store two functional copies in a physical storage. One gets stored in the Delhi head office. The other is stored either in Mumbai or Bangalore from a BCP perspective. So all these reports are also available on our dashboard where you can track as to where your software is actually stored. You can demand for the copy of as the evidence. You can demand for the audit trails to satisfy the regulator. So all those evidences are provided from our platform itself, apart from the escrow agreement. So this is about the physical storage. Like I said, that we have FRFC vaults across Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore. In case you want to store not only source code, but you want it for other requirements to hold your dematerialized, to hold your physical shares, property, deeds, will, estate documents, or any other document, we can do that as well. And these are some of the differences of the cloud storage and a physical storage. So if you see that in the cloud storage, there are multi-location storage facilities available. Same is available in physical storage also. Apart from this, there are real-time validations which are available in a cloud storage. Data backup is also provided to the users on requirement. This is user data. If at all you want it, we have the provision to give you user data backup facility also. Unified dashboard for managing all your escrows, audit trails, version controls are in place. You want to have the latest version plus previous copies of the codes, we will be able to provide you on the cloud storage. Data localization, sometimes it may happen that when a client says that I want to secure my codes in a server based out of Malaysia because my client is in Malaysia itself. So we have those kind of localization also. For India transaction, we restrict ourselves to using India servers only, right? And then verification services that we offer. So these are some of the benefits of or differences of the cloud escrow and physical escrows. This is a typical onboarding workflow for a client onboarding. Like we sign up a tripartite agreement between the vendor, client, and the Cashflow acting as the escrow agent. Once this is signed, then we do the KYC of the transacting parties, owner, and the beneficiaries to ensure that only the rightful or authorized users have access to the platform. Then we offer them the platform for storage, be it cloud or physical. The process is that we take deposit of the code, we do the verification on that code, and if at all any release is triggered, we release the code on request of the beneficiary to the rightful user, along with the audit trail. So these are some of the benefits and the onboarding workflow that we have for the clients. Yeah, so I think largely this is it on the product in the given time that we have been allocated. Maybe I open the house for any questions if you have. If time permits, I can walk you through the platform demo as well.
Time for questions. So anybody has any question, please go ahead and ask.
Yeah, hi Sangeeta.
Yeah.
My name is Ipsa. I'm DGM and CTO from NAPFIN's head office, Bengaluru.
Hi. Yeah.
Hi. First of all, thank you to Caster for sharing information about source code escrow. So I have one question.
Sure.
So we are taking certain applications on SaaS basis. So you mentioned that you have a product that SaaS escrow, and for multiple clients of the vendor, you are tagging them to the same instance. So what I wanted to know was, we are asking the vendor to do some customizations on top of the plain vanilla product, certain
Right.
NAFIN specific customizations to the application. So,
Right.
does the escrow take part of the customizations as well? And in that
Yes.
case, which product would be good?
Right. So see, it depends. So for you as a user, you should focus on availing the source code escrow service. You decide whether you want to go for a source code escrow or a software escrow, which entails the larger set of documents apart from just source code. That is the only decision that you have to take. The product difference comes at the vendor's end, where they have to decide whether they want to upload just one functional copy for each client or maybe just one copy for all the clients. So that's a decision at their end. Having said that, if they have any layer of customization done for you specifically, they can have it as a separate version. We can specifically tag only you as the beneficiary to it. Tomorrow, if let's say that your contract allows them to use the similar customization for other set of customers, we can tag those clients also with the same version. If not, then we can create a separate instance for you. So that's possible with the
Okay,
vendor. Yeah,
got it. Thank you.
you're welcome.
So there is another question here in the chat box, Varun. Is it
Mhm.
compulsory for microfinance also? Says somebody.
So RBI has categorically, if you go through the regulation, we can share the regulation later also. It has covered it for all the NBFCs, except saying that the base layer NBFCs can decide, but rest of the NBFCs, this is mandatory.
Yeah. Okay. So most of our MFIs are in base layer, I think.
Hmm.
So
So for
real,
them, it's a good to have is what the regulator says.
yeah. Yeah. Any other question, please? You have any other question? Real smart, somebody from Real Smart Microfinance? Any other question? Did you get your answer? Or, yeah, no, you didn't get your answer, right?
Is there any question that has been asked?
That is the question. Can you explain it a bit more? Like, do you understand the base layer thing? Uh, whoever is there, can you can I have your name, please?
Yeah, so maybe I can again clarify whosoever has asked this question from Real Smart Microfinance.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
their company is falling under base layer license of RBI, then they can decide. Regulator says then that it is up to them to decide whether they want to have it or not. Regulator suggests you to have the escrow in place, but then it is your decision. Otherwise, irrespective of the category or the layer of NBFC, everybody has been mandated.
So you can explain also as to uh, what will happen if they decide not to take, not to come under this regulation? What will
Right.
happen? Yeah.
So, like I was sharing the case study. So, let's say that an NBFC, irrespective of the scale or the layer they are functioning,
Yeah.
but they have an LMS LOS application, which is very critical to their business.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, if this vendor service provider defuncts or defaults for some reason, right?
Hmm.
Either the company shuts down, or maybe there are some disconnects with respect to other scope of services. But this vendor is not servicing the application, and there is some bug in it, or irrespective, they switch off the application for you. How will you ensure continuity of your business? Your entire business will suffer.
Yeah.
It will come to a halt. So, to ensure, because all critical information of the user is sitting on that third party application, it is not your in-house application. Contracts and agreements can only manage things up to a limit. They cannot ensure continuity of the business. You will have to drag that person for maybe to a court of law. Will file litigation. It will take its own time. But till that time, what will happen to the business? So to ensure continuity of the business, this product is a very good feature. I mean, you take it, you store the codes with us. You mentioned the condition. There are five, six conditions that typically gets captured in the agreement. Let's say the vendor stops supporting the application for a period of continuous period of 15 days. The vendor gets merged or acquired with another entity with which the regulated entity is not comfortable working with. The vendor files for bankruptcy. The vendor, for any other reason, is not responding to the regulated entities with regards to major security updates and updates. In those cases, the regulated entity can come to us, ask for the release of the codes. We will do the validation and we will ensure we hand over the source code to this particular regulated entity. So in a way, it is a win-win situation. This is the last option. This is the last recourse available. When the vendor is already aware that their source codes can be compromised with the beneficiary, they will not let such situation happen. They will amicably settle the dispute and the differences with the regulated entities, and hence it will ensure that the regulated entities are not suffering any business losses. So it is kind of an insurance for an NBFC business,
Yeah. Yeah. So suppose the vendor actually is closing down somehow,
right?
and then what? Yeah.
So there are two instances of the closure. One is where the vendor is closing down, has given sufficient notice to the beneficiary, let's
Mm.
say 60 days, and then beneficiary is able to appoint a new vendor. Then there is a migration process that takes its own time. Migration is fully cooperated by the existing vendor, and the new vendor takes over. So that's a happy flow. The other thing is, maybe for some reason, due to liquidity issues, due to any cash crunch, due to other reason, the vendor files for bankruptcy, and
Mm.
then they are in no, they cannot service the application for any reason in
Mm.
that situation. What will happen to the business of the NBFC at that time? So in
Yeah.
those scenarios, these NBFCs can come to us, ask for the release of the codes, and then they can appoint another company who can support it. Let's say that the existing product is from Infosys. Infosys has filed for bankruptcy. We hand over the codes of Infosys to the NBFC. NBFC now appoints TCS to service the application.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So is that clear to Real Smart Microfinance?
So somebody has asked to share the regulation URL or PDF.
Yeah.
So we will share it with you, and maybe you can circulate within
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
team. We will share the deck also. The deck also has the regulation link and all those things.
Yeah. So any particular question, Mohit, from your end regarding this regulation?
Ma'am, just save only software source code or full application available on their portal?
Yeah, Varun, you can answer that.
I didn't get the question.
He's
If you
yeah.
You can save our source code only, or you can provide some option to application also. मतलब run our application from your server also.
okay, so no, currently we don't provide it. And the regulation also says that the source code only needs to be secured and not the entire application. So whichever codes have been written to run that particular application, we will take the custody of that. But we can do the verification of those codes for you, where we will confirm when we do the compilation, this actual application gets built out of it.
How to ensure no one use our code?
So that's what. So we closely tied it in a legal agreement, which is an escrow agreement. You are the user or you are the vendor?
Both.
He's okay.
Okay. So see, if you we will any which way sign the indemnification conditions with you and the terms and conditions, where we will categorically say that the in case of any event of willful misconduct, default, or maybe unauthorized disclosure, we will take that responsibility. We will only treat the codes as per the terms of the agreement, which ensure that we keep it close to our chest. We will ensure that it is fully encrypted if it is on cloud. It is fully secured in our FRFC vaults if it is in a physical storage, and we only release it to the rightful beneficiary post due diligence. if at all any release condition triggers. If the contract between the vendor and the beneficiary is getting over, then we can have the custody of the same contract copy, basis which we will then discard the code or hand it over back to the vendor.
Okay.
Yeah, Varun, Sandosh, actually, I'm Sandosh from Muthoot Microfinance. I have one question.
Sure.
Currently, you mentioned it's a outsourced application is required escrow agreement. So, what about the in-house application?
Sure. So we have faced this situation earlier also with a lot of from a lot of entities. Now, in-house application, you can consider it as a locker facility. You want to have it, we do service bipartite escrows also, where your in-house applications can also be secured. Now, there are different reasons to secure it. Some could be, let's say that you don't, there are mistrust between the internal employees and you don't want to compromise your source code with in the hands of one particular employee. So what you say is, tomorrow if something happens, then only give these codes back to my institution. Otherwise, you keep it in your custody, right? So depends on whether what is the
Actually,
challenge internally. If you want to use it as a locker, we have already done it in the past for a few NBFCs.
that one source code, actually, that required only source code review, it, I hope, instead of escrow for the in-house application.
So you have the access to the codes.
Yeah, actually, for the in-house scenario, the owner is actually the source code with us.
Mhm.
So that scenario, we need to conduct the source code review. That's correct. Thanks.
Yeah. So, and in that also, you want us to conduct the verification of the codes that we do.
Okay.
Like I've already explained, where we can tell you whether this is a workable code or not, the application is getting built or not. Apart from storage, verification will also be done for you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Anil has asked a question: how do we ensure the source code is up to date? Is this a one-time activity or ongoing activity for every release? Okay, Anil, so good question. So it's an ongoing activity. The regulation says that the code should be latest and updated one. So as soon as any release is or update is released by the vendor, uh, depends on which medium they have opted for the integration. If it is a direct integration with their platform, we will be able to pull the latest code from their platform. If it is a manual upload, then you will have to ask your vendor to deposit or upload the updated copy with the escrow agent on their platform. So it depends on the kind of integration that we have done with the vendor. And that you can decide, I mean, we all three can decide, you, vendor, and us. Thanks. Mohit has asked, this is compulsory for in-house software. So Mohit, I think we have already discussed. It depends whether it is not compulsory for in-house softwares, but we have done it in the past depending on the challenges that you internally face. You can use it as a locker facility also. We have done it for both the vendors and NBFCs where they want to ensure that the code's access is not given to any employee in the organization. They want to safely park it in a locker. Tomorrow, if at all any dispute happens or maybe any release condition gets triggered, they will reach out to us asking for the release of the codes. And that will be in a controlled environment only to the authorized users.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other question? So those of you who are facing some issue or have faced some kind of issue with regard to LOS, LMS, source code, it gets corrupted, right? That is what I understand. So, and what happens when this gets corrupted? Maybe that is one scenario, which is why this has become a necessary compliance. So, if any of you have faced that kind of a situation earlier, then how did you manage that, and what was your takeaway? And do you think that this is a very good kind of choice that you can have, a secured option? if any of you have faced similar kind of situation, because this compliance would have come after so many people have faced this situation, right, Varun? Is this what is the
Yeah,
background of
yeah,
this?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
So in layman's term, I understand that source code corruption will lead to like a completely, holding of operation, everything. You can't do anything
exactly.
out of that, and
It's
nobody
an
can.
insurance for the business,
Yeah,
for the
yeah, yeah.
NBFC business.
Yes, yes. So that way, we thought that people should be, securing their softwares, their systems in this. Any other question or any other comment you may have? Observation? Anything? Varun, you can go. There is a question. What will happen in a scenario where we do
The
not have source of
question,
application?
what will, where we don't have source of application like CVS Finacle from Infosys, they release product patches. That's what, Vasu. So this is what the regulation is for. The regulation is very clear, irrespective of the size and scale of the entity. Because Infosys is a third-party application provider, you have to have the source code of the application from them. Now, I'm not sure whether Finacle Infosys will be able to do it or they have some exemptions. Unless there is an exception, you will have to convince Infosys and pursue them for availing the source code escrow services. And we have already done with Infosys UAE for one of their application. So they are already the users, right? And globally it happens. You talk about Salesforce, SAP, Oracle. Everybody has done it. Now, after seeing success in the Western and European markets, the regulator has drawn parallel from them, and they have brought in and introduced this for the India regulated entities also. So all three regulators in the BFSI space have made it mandatory. Right. So just to answer again, to summarize the answer for your question, CBS of Pinnacle from Infosys, yes, it needs to be escrow.
Varun, you can go ahead with the demo, maybe.
Yeah, sure, I can do the demo as well. I'll just share my screen again. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the home screen of the dashboard that the transacting parties will get. It will be applicable both for physical storage and cloud storage. Currently, I'll limit my demo to the cloud storage variant only. So on the home screen, it will be visible for both the vendors and the users, both users, I mean, the beneficiaries or NBFC. So everybody will get a similar interface. What you will see is the home screen or the dashboard when you log in. It will tell you the total escrows that you are currently managing. Now, for you, you consider that you have nine vendors for or nine application providers for which you have escrowed. Out of total escrows, how many escrows are active and how many are closed are also there. So currently, now out of nine escrows are active. Out of these, five escrows have code deposited into it, which means that four escrows are still left where the vendors are supposed to upload the codes. So they still have time; they can upload it. So we typically give them 20 days time from the date of agreement signing to deposit the codes. And then how many escrows through which actual release has happened. So all these things are visible on the home screen. If I click on the total escrows here, what you will see is all the escrows for all your applications that you manage. So you'll see the name of the escrow. You can name it application wise. The start of escrow and date of escrow. Depositor means the uh, owner or the vendor's email ID who will be uploading the code, and receiver means the one who is going to access the code in the event of any failure. So this is the beneficiaries or the NBFC's email ID, right? And then you see the view repo report column and the status of each account against that. So maybe from your perspective, I've created different accounts here. So consider it from your perspective, you are the buyer or owner, or you are the buyer or user of the application. So how will an interface look for you? Once you click on this particular account, you will see further details about it. So it will tell you the integration medium chosen by the vendor and your details here, like which deposit medium, access token, data center, all details are here. Then you will also see the space utilization that has been done out of the given space to you. By default, we give 50 GB space. Out of that, how much space has been utilized by the vendor and the beneficiary in this particular scenario? So that will be visible here. Who all are the escrow parties for this particular escrow? So seller, email ID, and the role is there. Beneficiary or buyer's email ID and the role is there. So we typically have two different rules for you. One is seller, the other is buyer, and there are quite a few permissions that we give. For your basic understanding, one permission is view with encryption, the other is no view. So which means when the seller upload the code, they can view that uploaded code, but that too with encryption. So they can not actually read the code base. They can only see that something has been uploaded. The files can be seen by them, but even they cannot access the codes. The other is no view, which means that the buyer or beneficiary will not be able to view the code unless a release condition is getting triggered. So we will set those permissions from the backend, and then you can upload the supporting document like I was explaining, not only the source code but supporting documents like architectures, workflows, diagrams, testing reports, all those things. By default, we will give you a provision to upload the escrow agreement copy here. You can simply download it and access it to see the terms and condition. Rest of the documents, if those are part of the scope of the escrow agreements, we will upload it here. Right. So let's say that a released condition gets triggered. So you as a buyer, you will do is you will press this particular button and you will mention the comments saying that as per escrow agreement, this so and so condition has triggered. You want the release of the code. So you will click on this request release button. We will receive that request. We will do the validation. If at all the condition fulfills, we will give you a platform for downloading the code. So you'll see a download button here itself through which you can download the code, and we will change that permission from backend. So today what is happening is by default, if you click on view source code button, your access will be denied. You will not be able to view it. But once we give you the permission, you will be able to see the codes. And also you will get the audit logs with regards to each of the activity that has happened, who accessed the this particular locker, who opened it, what was the activity performed. All these things will be visible to you. And nothing can be done without our consent at the backend. Then you can also see the repo report. So it will be an Excel detailed report, telling you the contents that have been uploaded by the vendor. So when you download it, this is the report that is visible. So it will tell you the name of the files that have been uploaded, their size, their extension, encryption status. All these things will be visible to you. Right. Similarly, owner, who is the application provider, when they log in, they also see a similar interface. Everything is similar. Nothing changes. The only difference for them is on this particular button. So you as the beneficiary can request for the release of the code, like I was explaining here. But the owner of the application, when they click on the button, they will have an option to upload the code. Like I already explained, there are three methods: manual, SFTP, or integrating into their GitHub Bitbucket. Depending on the integration chosen, they will press the full source code button. The code will get uploaded. They will have an option to mention the comment. Comment can be version so and so. If it is a fix, they can mention against what issue this fix was deployed. If they want to version it, they can do that. Things can be mentioned. This is this will become part of the audit log for the RBI auditors to verify, right? And then they can submit the codes. When they do it, an audit log gets created, right? You see that uh, version 11 is deposited. Before that, version 10 was deposited. Version 9 was deposited. So all these things are visible to you. Okay? You can see the previous versions also by clicking on this. The current version and the previous versions, everything is available for you. Some of you had a question that how to ensure the latest codes are deposited. This is through this particular feature only. If it's a direct integration with the GitHub GitLab Bitbucket, auto pull will happen and then comments can be mentioned and an audit log can be created here, which will tell the latest code is there in the custody. Yeah, so largely this is about the platform. Similarly, on physical storage, we will give you an access where you can see that where is your asset stored. You will be able to request for the picture also. You can see the picture of the codes also, which is in our custody. All these things will be visible. Yeah, any questions around this? Happy to answer.
There are few questions. Some question Mohit has asked. Mohit, can you ask? Do you have the question still?
Other than SFTP, what is the option to download the code?
For downloading or uploading?
Yes.
You are asking about downloading the codes.
हाँ, return download करना है तो कैसे
The
कर सकेंगे?
download is very simple. Like you will press this particular button. First, you will request for the release of the code. Once the validation is done, a radio button will be displayed here for downloading the code. So you simply have to press that button and the download will begin.
Okay.
And if you are acting as the owner who has to upload the code, then there is an upload button for that particular account. Now, for upload, there are different options. Either manual upload can be done, or SFTP based upload can be done, or by integrating directly the GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, which are the developer platforms. By direct integration with these platforms, also codes can be uploaded.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Any other question, please? I think that's all, Varun. Maybe you can send this deck also along with
Sure.
whatever this PDF that he was saying Mohit was asking, maybe.
Sure.
So that we can circulate with our members, and then whoever is interested, they can get back to you.
Sure, definitely. We will do that.
Yeah, you can send the contact person's email and this thing, phone number also in the email so that I can circulate that itself.
Sure, we will do that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Varun, for the presentation and your time.
Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, thank you, Sangeeta ji, for giving us this platform.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for having joined. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.